Now, growing up, I never thought that I would become a realtor. The truth is, I never even considered it a job. Now, real estate wasn't even a passion of mine or something that I really even loved. But most people picture real estate agents as ultimate successes, a dream job where you can make millions of dollars, drive exotic cars, and show multi-million-dollar homes. But for those of you guys that know a real estate agent or maybe even been a real estate agent yourself, you know that that is far from it. The business is highly competitive with a ton of stress and heartaches. So why did I decide to make a career change into real estate? Well, in this video, I will go over what life events led me to dedicate my life to the real estate industry. Soon after graduating school, I went off to pursue my first passion, cars. And so I went to a trade school and completed an automotive training program. And then I quickly settled in and got a job repairing automobiles. Now, growing up, I thought that the goal was really to get a job, get a house and a car, and then live happily ever after. And in 2011, at the age of 26, I bought my first home with an FHA mortgage and a 3% down payment. And it's actually still the home I live in today. Now, I remember how nervous I was when I was first looking at homes. I didn't know what to look for, who to talk to, the process, really nothing. And then there was new vocabulary that I had to be accustomed to, and then talking to attorneys, and not to mention that the most significant financial commitment of my life was laying on my lap. Buying a home to call your own is a huge transition into life, and it is intimidating for first-time home buyers. But for my wife and I, we felt that it was well worth it. Now, holding the keys to your first home is really hard to explain, but most remember it for the rest of their lives. I know my wife and I still talk about it to this day. I remember the events leading up to the closing. I remember walking up to the house for the first time, the negotiation, the timeline, and then the stressful closing. A lot different than it is today. Buying my first home introduced me to the real estate transaction process, and the process of buying a home, becoming a homeowner, really served me for my career change. Now, shortly after buying our first home, I also had an employer change, and I was in search of more opportunities and higher wages. I was lucky enough to find another option where I had an opportunity to grow, but that move came with a caveat. I was coming from a union shop with a pension, and now the retirement aspect of it really laid on my shoulders. And after talking to my wife about it, I decided to make the new job and then create my own investments in order to hopefully have a retirement. Now, I decided to take on and learn about retirement savings since I was no longer dependent on the pension. And I read a few books about retirement saving strategies and investing. And one book in particular that really stood out to me was Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Now, Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a super simple book, and it's probably why I relate with it, because it's in very simple terms on how to increase your wealth. Now, the author describes the differences between assets and liabilities, and then why your home is not an asset. Now, your home is not an asset is still a very controversial topic today, but the idea really drew me in, and I kept learning. And Robert Kiyosaki explains how he earns passive income primarily from businesses and rental property. And this book was primarily the single reason why I decided to invest in real estate for retirement. Kiyosaki and then many others talk highly of the real estate industry, its flexibility and its creative ways to generate income. And I found that really to be true. Now, I felt it was the easiest, most secure way to invest for retirement. And I started investing in real estate. Now, my wife and I saved for 3 years and purchased our first rental property. Now, we took a leap of faith and bought our first multi-unit in 2014. It was an old home that needed a ton of work, but it was our first rental property, and we really learned a lot. I know I did. Now, real estate once again showed up to fulfill our needs. 3 years after marriage, real estate had sheltered us for those 3 years and then provided a rental property to secure some retirement income for our future. Now, after I purchased that first rental property, we had a lot of things to learn. We learned how to manage tenants, leases, repairs, and so many other things. I decided to further pursue real estate education and rental management education. I read online that the best way to learn about real estate investing is to be around other successful real estate investors. Now, there is a lot of guru, late night real estate information and bootcamp programs out there. And I never attended any of those. They all just seemed like a big pitch fest with more expensive programs to sell you. I looked online and found a non-for-profit real estate investor association in the Chicagoland area, which is Korea, and I'll put the link in the description below. Now, the group meets once a month, and it was a direct experience sharing and education. So it was one-on-one with a lot of real estate investors that are actually doing it, not somebody that's trying to teach you and trying to sell you a book or a program. And in that group, I met a lot of real estate investors with years of experience and dozens of rentals. Now, at first, our goal was to only own one or maybe even two. But then meeting other real estate investors really opened my mind to the possibility of many more. Now, I originally joined the Real Estate Investment Association to learn how to manage one rental property, but then I quickly found out that there was so much more in those meetings than just business deals and money. It was about building relationships and then learning from other investors. I quickly learned how many of the real estate investors were making money supplementing their income. Now, some investors were flipping real estate and others were just buying and holding rental property. But being around the group opened up my mind to the possibilities and then quickly made me desire more than just one rental property. And later I joined the board of directors with the real estate investment associations, and I found ways to purchase more real estate. Most importantly, it was not a pitch fest. It was more about learning than really about selling. I went on YouTube and researched how to find a good deal to buy with no money down or maintenance costs. I also researched what other people were doing to better themselves and to learn from their mistakes. Now, my goal was to continue my full-time job and then invest in rental real estate on the side, which a lot of people have done for many years. It's pretty safe. Now, I had some success with the wholesaling and purchased a few properties. I learned on my own how to write a contract and then buy a house without the need of a real estate agent. Now, looking back at it now, I was lucky enough not to make any significant mistakes. This period of my real estate career was very beneficial in understanding the process of buying a home and then estimating some repair costs. A skill that I would later develop and learn, and one that I still use to today. In 2018, I decided to become a licensed real estate broker. Now, friends and family would ask me to tag along on some home showings to get my suggestions or opinions on a home that they might be viewing that day. And after a few showings with multiple friends, I just decided to get paid for it by representing them in the purchase or sale of their home. The 5 years that I invested in real estate really laid the foundation for my real estate career. Now, at the same time, I also decided to change my marketing plan from buying homes to helping to buy and sell and invest in homes. And Ryan and I are both good friends that both believe in the power of real estate. It's really simple, forever in demand, more now than ever. And then it really is the foundation of generational wealth since the beginning of this country. Now, becoming a real estate agent has also led me to develop other skills to market myself. I have learned a ton about business just from becoming a real estate agent. After experiencing the real estate market firsthand by buying houses, it was pretty easy to see why I became so passionate about real estate and homes. What started off as a side biz and then a investment savings now pushed me even further to further develop myself. Our goal is really now to help better understand the real estate market and then relay it to you. I want to show you guys how to buy, how to sell real estate, and how to invest with it. The more time I spend learning about real estate, the better I understand it and the better that I become. It's not just a job or a passion project for me anymore. Instead, it's now one of my biggest passions and careers. Being of service to others, I wish I could tell you that I know everything and that I'm the most outstanding real estate agent the world has ever known. But the truth is, I'm learning something new about real estate every single day. I am fortunate because I have an opportunity to work with some amazing people and help them invest their money. Being a real estate agent is about being able to serve others, not about your interests. It's about helping others by giving advice or knowledge that you already possess. It's about giving something back. Now, I'm fully committed in real estate as a career. I'm committed to learning as much as I possibly can and staying current in all the latest trends, techniques, and strategies in the field. Now, working for myself has also made me experience some of the most impressive homes out there, and that has really motivated me. I have really found a love for luxury real estate, or just really nice real estate, right? Homes that are built well, that function well, and so on. Now, my goal is to provide the same level of service I would want for myself. The world needs real estate agents really more than ever. I know it doesn't seem like that with Zillow and the rest, but there is a lot of competition out there, and you need somebody in your corner that knows what they're looking at, that has been through the process. Because remember, this is the largest commitment of your lifetime, and if you don't have somebody in your corner that has experienced this multiple times and is active in the market, you're gonna have some trouble. People that are with someone that has a lot of experience and knows about real estate, you're more likely to get what you want if you have the right real estate agent in your corner. My goal is to provide the same high level of service I would for myself. The world needs more real estate agents more than ever, and I am committed to being one of those people that helps play an active role in creating change where it is needed. Now, the only reason I strive to provide the videos and content to our blog is for our future. We believe that it is essential to teach others about the power of real estate. We also believe how more now than ever, homeownership is the cornerstone of the American dream. Now, I'm not really sure what comes next, so this is really as far as I can go. Now, what I am sure of is real estate will be my new priority. Now, we are still investing in real estate, and the plan is to help others accomplish the dream of home ownership. Now, there's some new players out there in the industry, such as Zillow and Redfin, and some believe that this is the beginning of the end for the real estate agent. But I think this is a chance for real estate agents to rethink the way they operate. We want to be a trusted source for real estate needs. We want to share our experiences, our failures, and our victories, and no one knows what lies ahead for really any of us, but what we are sure of is our commitment to homeownership and each other and real estate. We hope you follow us along in our journey in the real estate industry. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and if you need anything real estate related and you're in the Chicagoland area, please reach out at 708-259-2087. Call, text, email, let me know. Later, bros.